we go. Sorry about that. A little bit off. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. We are in our set, in our cozy chair. It's actually not that cozy. It's just kind of like a generic... You can't even see it because it's just very small. But, yes, enough to get comfy in. Oh my god, don't spill my coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, this very cool looking game. Why is it like that? What? No, it's... Why? Oh, here we go. Click. There we go. There we go. Sorry, that looked real pale. It's washed out weird. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, people watching this in past broadcasts, how is your day? Let me know in the comments. Also, people who are here in the Twitch channel, what's good? Hopefully, the day's been also lovely. I spent the day reviewing the book I'm reading, as well as watching, just like because apparently you're supposed to you're not supposed to go hard in the paint and like do like homework or like study or just intake any like life-changing information essentially for any more than like an hour, because then your brain just starts to get all foggy. So then I take a 20-minute break, and guess what fits in that 20-minute break perfectly? Episodes of Banished from the Hero's Party, which, by the way, very much like one guy just shit on this one dude, and he kind of just said, okay, I guess I suck. And that's it. Yeah. Also, why is Fluff... Did I chroma key Fluff's name out from this? Because all I see is... Oh no, it's there. It's there, sorry. It's super tiny. I thought maybe the blue was just enough. God damn, Lone Syndicate. God damn you. Thank you so much. Let me drink my coffee before I fucking spill it on myself. Coffee's okay today. Okay. Also, do you guys want to see my kettlebells? I didn't show you guys last week because so much was happening. But yeah. I will have to get up and leave for a minute to get them. I'll have to lug them back and forth. I'll only show you guys the one because they're the same thing. The insides changed. But thank you so much for the support, Lone Syndicate. Always appreciate it. Let's see what just subscribed with a tier 1 sub, but it's been subscribed for 24 months. Jesus Christ, Lone Syndicate. Also, this Warhammer game was one of the ones I regret not putting on my games to keep your eye on video. So we're doing it here. This is the reason why I'm watching this gameplay now. But man, I was surprised at how much, like, now that we've had a little bit of time, and I wanted to ask you guys this, now that we've had a little bit of time to kind of like decompress from everything that's just happened the last week, because we had like a huge dump of like news on news on news, all at once, firing on all cylinders. How do you guys feel about it now? Now that like maybe the hype has kind of started to like, okay, now we're kind of, you've seen, also there was like a lot of other conferences, which I didn't watch all of, but apparently they did like extended runs of the Xbox conference, which, by the way, I actually really like that formula of like, okay, here are these games, here's like kind of like small tidbits of gameplay, but there's always gameplay usually. And then we'll have another show the next day, which is actually like deep dive like rundowns of interviewing these devs and what the game is. I love that. That's all I like. Please, Xbox, keep that formula. It just sucked that this year we kind of had like 3 games that people were like, oh my god, when it comes to Xbox things. But yes. Also, what's good, Matism? It's been a millennia, my guy. How are you? Hopefully you're taking care of yourself. Yes. Also, Lone Syndicate says, hell yeah, 2 years. How are you? That's fucking insane. Also, you're on a 15-month streak, Lone Syndicate. That's mental. Thank you so much, buddy. I don't deserve you in my life, but I'm happy I have you. Undead says, yo, what's good, Undead? How are you? Yeah, man. This Vermintide game, I don't know, man. Is it okay? So I'm sorry. Let me finish. It looks cool. This looks super awesome. But I don't know if it's just me, man, but I'm in a place in my gaming like lifespan. I don't know if it's like the anime fan, you know how we go through like phases of like loving it and then being so obsessed with it that we start to hate it and all this weird like nonsense essentially. I don't know if I'm in the phase of gaming of like I want to see a game that capitalizes on an idea and momentum. So like when I see this gameplay, I'm like thinking, what a good baseline. We got cool gunplay. We can play some melee in this. This is the Vermintide space game essentially, except with guns instead of like range combat seeming like the main combat rather than melee. But melee is an option, as you guys are seeing. Also, it seems like they're like the maximization of the different classes is present. So like there's a tank that's literally like a towering guy who I think has a completely different moveset, which is nice because a lot of the Vermintide characters were like different, but in some small ways similar. Like they don't feel like a giant towering tank, you know, who is like severely limited but can also pop off in a huge way. Like I think he has like a tiny. It's funny because the big ass tank has like the tiniest little knife, but he just like beheads people with it because he's just like a giant man. It's really cool. But yeah, like again, I'm really interested in like post-launch content. That's like where my brain goes, and I know people hate that. And I understand that, but to me, in a game like this, which seems like formulaically makes a lot of sense, looks really cool, I could see myself doing this many times, but my brain goes, okay, well, what are you gonna do to keep that being interesting? And yeah, like with an open world game, you just have an ungodly amount of things to do. In games like this, I want to know what you do to change the formula up enough to where it makes you feel like there's that carrot on a string. And I think that's the thing that I think people get oftentimes really confused by, or not confused by, sorry, that's maybe a pretentious way of saying it. I think people are way more motivated with incentives rather than the structure of gameplay that you're doing. Case in point, there's like so many games like Call of Duty people play ad nauseum. Well, maybe Call of Duty is a bad example. That actually has like a repeat loop that a lot of people seem to like satisfying, like clicking on a head and just hearing and then a person dropping. That's super satisfying for a lot of people. But yeah, I'm wondering if, I think for me, I think it's the games that are about that. A game that basically rewards you and has that perfect carrot on a string. That's the game that I'm hoping to see in the future. I'm not sure if this is going to be it, but it looks cool. But again, I always get hopeful and oftentimes disappointed because I'm hopeful, but I digress. Thank you for letting me ramble. What's up with you guys? How's your weeks? Matism says he takes a handful of pocket sand in form of bits and throws it at me. Thank you for the bits. If you can't handle me at my Nebus skidibus, then you don't deserve me at my noob skidoo baloo. Good to know. Mentally, we're solid. We're solid, Matism. Hello, Grin. What's good? What's good, Matism? Fluff says, I'm not feeling a ton of hype for the announcement since I've got yeah, I was about to say, Fluff is eating. Fluff is out here eating. He's got DNF Duel and Sunbreaker in around 10 to 12 days for that. And he got Spider-Man Saints around August. Yeah, I didn't even think about the Spider-Man game. I wonder, it's a good time to play games, maybe. It's a bad time to cover games like Spider-Man because everyone's already covered them, especially on console, which was already... I don't think the PC version is going to look drastically crazy in comparison to the Xbox one, you know? Yeah, because a lot of games, to me, man, are getting... we talked about this all the time whenever we see, like, gameplay trailers. But I'm personally, like, super detached from, like, the games that look good and games that look, like, so good that they demand your processor just to burn alive. Like, I feel like we're well past games looking good to where it's obvious. I feel like it's like, if I get really close, I'm like, yeah, that's a texture, yes. That looks crisp, even this close. But who the fuck is playing a game to slow down and look at the mesh on the side of a wall? Like, what are we doing, you know? And yes. Matism, you gotta hold me accountable with those status points at the end, or else I'll just right over my head. Fluff says it's Warhammer 40k instead of Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Undead says, I'm great. I've missed so many streams. It's okay, buddy. I feel like I just talked to you yesterday, so we're all good. Super excited for for Dark Tide. Like Vermintide, so this seems like a great 40k game. Yeah, man. I'm hopeful because to me, I think Vermintide was one of those games that had like a fucking bulletproof system. Like to me, when I seen the Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead thing, I was like, like that. Like as much. I'm sorry. What I mean by that, is the moan or pain wheeze kind of lost in there anyway. but the thing that I really wanted from that game is like a way to build on top of something. So again, when Back 4 Blood came out, I thought neat, but it was like, you can have this card that gives you an effect. There's 50 of them and you can only hold 3 at a time. And I'm like, can I just have a build? Like, can I just have a bunch of skill trees where I could pick some shit rather than this weird, like, you just survived. You just dedicated 30 minutes. here's a crappy card, here's a good card. Like, that just felt super bland. But in games like Vermintide, which I loved the melee combat, like the way you could just fucking get into a berserk rage and just start slaying horde after horde of these weird rat things. But I always felt like the thing that Vermintide suffered from is, like, we had a base, but you had nothing to do. So, like, again, I may just be like hard pressed for this idea right now, but I would have loved in a Vermintide game to have like a shitty base, and every single time you go off and do an adventure, you come back and you build up a something that, and you have progressions of tier that could make it so that you were having an incentive that every single time you went into the fold and came back, you could spend a currency that is outside of loot. I think that would be ideal. And like invest in stuff that actually matters. Like, you know, if there was a cauldron that once per day shot out a bunch of loot, that could be a good weapon for you. Because I think Vermintide did a decent job with that. Legendaries did seem pretty interesting. Although I do have to say, Vermintide, there's like this thing within games like Vermintide, man, which I feel like is genuinely crippling the like looter shooter space. But it's this polluted idea of difficulty. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but for me, like the fact that's like that when you're farming, you're just turning off your brain, you're messing with your build, you're having a fun time. The fact that you could just get like blitzkrieged and like you're hitting an enemy and then they just drop you in 2 seconds and you're just kind of like, and then you get downed, your other guy gets downed, you get downed, and then they're like, and then it doesn't make any sense to me, because is it a looter game or is it like a cooperative game? And like the fact that you're trying to be both just makes both systems feel messy in a way. And yeah, I just feel like a lot of these games, like at the end game is like cranked up to 10, and if you get touched by an enemy, you get lost half health. So you have to have like the best gear so that you can shoot off a head immediately. And it's just like, this is not why people liked looter shooter games like Diablo and whatnot. At least I don't think. I think it was because it was a fun time and there was something to do and reasons to do it, and the gameplay was solid enough to where you felt satisfying to achieve it, you know? But anyways, sorry. Just, hey guys, you guys like it's like a match to a fire when you guys talk to me about stuff like this. And 40K has a lot of hit and a lot of misses in their games released. Thankfully, Vermintide and Dark Tides are on their hit cat. Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's big hit. I haven't heard many things that were like, most people that played Vermintide liked it. It's just that the content and the loop. I also felt like progression was kind of like on a month cycle, which was like you have to grind a lot, and it doesn't. You don't have enough of those like reward dopamine hits to keep the time until you got a legendary presently there. It was kind of like, okay, I guess I'm gonna grind this mission for 20 minutes and I guess because I don't have a co-op team playing with me right now, I guess I'll yeah, or like I guess I'll run it. But Vermintide did really cool things too, where you could take a book and like without health. So one guy was like carrying the book, and you're all trying to keep him alive, and that would net you into having a bonus. Yeah, I think Vermintide really nailed the like at the end of the encounter, your chest started becoming like prettier and prettier based on the stuff you did. That was pretty clever. I just think there should be. I don't know. I guess there should be something to attain there. Also, I don't know if I like the co-op forceability thing. Like, that was the other thing. In Vermintide, if you played non-co-op, like just with AI, the AI was not good enough to survive. You know, like you'd just get bodied. So solo play wasn't really there. So I think it'd be cool if there was a solo play or maybe like a 2-player. Like you could have one other AI person, but they're like mission specific to like quick encounters. So if you don't have 20 minutes or 30 minutes to play and do an encounter, you have maybe 5, or like 10. You could just do this it's either 2 people or you and an AI that's actually good, that you could just run these like single encounters. Because I do feel like that was kind of also a problem with Vermintide. It felt like in for a penny, in for a pinch. Like it was a huge thing. Fluff says there's an article about character customization, and this time they aren't looking. They aren't locking classes to a specific character. You can pick various features, possibly gender, outside of GRINN, which is the big space ogre guy. Okay, yeah, so maybe that's where it is. Maybe they just made one who was like the freak ogre guy. You can only have one of him on the team, though, right? You can't have like 5 like giant colossuses. It's cool to see that they're doing character customization where you can actually design your person. Once again, it says, as far as my day, I was good overall. A bit annoying though. Had to take had to work today, short shift 3 hours, but I had to go back to work for a meeting, so I didn't really get to enjoy my Saturday. But I'm gonna make the best of the rest of my week. That's a good idea. That's a good, best way to think about it. It's like I can't control what the shittery happened today, but I can make it so that the hours that I do have are spent, enjoyed, and etc. Which honestly, again, I think there is such a thing, Lone Syndicate, to like actually making it so that you can enjoy your time. Like I find sometimes I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do this, but it doesn't feel as rewarding if I'm like, when this time comes, I'm just gonna sit back and like totally unwind and just enjoy. You know what I mean? Like when I set an amount of time to just hang out, watch a movie, relax, I feel like it's so much more fulfilling than like kind of like the meandering, like I guess I'll do nothing, kind of like hollowing feeling a little bit. But yeah. What's good, Near? Near says, hello, just chatting. I am listening. I'm happy to have you just being in this space, Near. Undead says, I hope it's great. 40k games honestly don't do that good compared to Total Warhammer games. Yeah. Well, I think it's weirdly, it's that it's a niche. Like I feel like Warhammer is still in this weird thing where it hasn't really broken to the main market, but this to me seems like it could very well do that. And I think it's also certain parts, certain communities definitely have. Like Warhammer has a freakish community tied to it. Love says, well, we've also got Space Marines coming, Space Marines 2 coming, and I'm stoked for that. I don't know, I haven't seen much gameplay of that, Fluff. What is it about? I know it's like classic Space Marines, but is it similar like this? What's good, Wilson? Wilson says, evening, Grin. What's good, Wilson? How are you? Hopefully taking care of yourself. Hopefully day has been lovely. Let me hear about it. How was it? Fluff says, but we haven't had any good 40k games since Dawn of 1, A War, and 2. Space Marines. Oh, right, no. Oh, I think Space Marines. I know what you're talking about. Is that the one that's like you're playing these like weird, like they look like they're... It's like as if you took like steroids and like lard and like injected it into like a classic spacesuit and then put red or blue on it. Is that right? Is that the one I'm thinking of, Fluff? I don't know if that one's first person, is it? It might be. Also, by the way, the chat's not delayed. Since it's our Hangout stream, I'm just reading every comment, scrolling down. Your message will get read eventually. Forgive me for yeah. Just don't want to leave your comment behind. Delicious. Near says, when a game that rewards you in real money, play Nani Kume, they went the NFT route. Huge queue for genuine players. Ew, no, I hate that. That sounds yucky. It sounds horrible, Near. Weird. Yeah, man. To me, I feel like right now, like I don't know what the play is. Say if you're a person that's like hella clever, you know exactly how to utilize this technology, all that stuff. Do you try to get in now and like say, stop fucking polluting the well? God damn it. Here's what you could actually do. Here's something that makes some sense. It's like a win-win-win, not like a clearly you're getting fucking scammed kind of thing. Or do you just wait? Do you just like let it fucking completely like die? Let like as much like scammers, con artists, do their damnedest, and then you go and you try to make it what you want. Because I do think it's a rather shitty thing that people are taking a technology or an idea and then like shitting it out. Same thing as Bitcoin. Bitcoin idea wise makes a little bit of sense, but just everything seems to be scummy and very horribly done. Wilson says, Starfield is top of my list. Dude, I understand people's like abrasion to Starfield a little bit, because I was, dude, when it comes to the abrasion of Starfield, I get it. Like I was saying this from the beginning when I was seeing people like really hyped for it. Like before people even seen it, people were like stupid jacked, because of course it's Bethesda. Bethesda knows how to make a fun open world game. Even when it's bad, it's still like, it's not like I had no fun. It's just that it like, you know, it's not as good as New Vegas or something, right? But there's something about space games where like Warhammer's doing a cool thing here, where it's actually making it like, well, what if we inject like some sort of mutation, like the cooler parts of space? Here's a space station that's overrun with this or that. A little bit played out, but still. But there's something about the hollowness of space and the plainness of like touching down on Mars and then being like, it's just red. It just looks like a red desert for miles. what am I doing? Like what? Like at least fantasy, it's like woods. Maybe you'll encounter an elf. Maybe you'll like find a slime monster or some shit, you know? It's like has some weird variability. There's just the emptiness and the vastness of space that leaves yourself kind of like, not much here. Not much here. So I kind of always expected people kind of to be like, why is it so gray? Because every space game is gray as shit. With exception to Outer Worlds, and even that's still kind of gray. But I will say, Wilson, I am excited for the prospect of a Bethesda game again. I think we just, like, there hasn't been a very big open world game in a while, you know. And again, I was hoping that Ubisoft would eventually create something like that, like a big, like kind of like an, well, frankly, not even Ubisoft. That was the wrong company to mention. What do you call it? Obsidian's open world game. That to me seems really cool. Because imagine if you had like a maybe original Fallout 3, the map size, I mean, like big but not too crazy big. But instead of it being like, you know, 6 times bigger than the previous game, maybe it just had twice the amount of quests that were interesting, more different types of weapons that were remodeled, more cool like layered systems, so where you could go underground on the metro and actually find like 6 different types of vaults or something like that, you know, where it's actually like quality discovery rather than just like quantity of discovery. Like you'll find 6 planets or 1,000 planets, but yeah. But again, very excited for the game still. Again, even when Bethesda, in my opinion, is bad, it's still great. It's still like a very cool, especially if you have it on PC. It's just there's too much there for like mod fixing, adjusting kind of things. So yes, I'm excited for Starfield. But I understand why people are kind of like, oh, it's space, and there's just an innate problem with space games, I think. Nier says, I read that. And Fluff says, saddens me that Japan is going all in for the NFTs. Well, that actually, to me, that's not the most surprising thing, actually, Fluff. Because to me, if you, what do you call it? How do I put it? I'm not big into the NFT thing. I haven't actually, whenever somebody starts talking about it, a part of me just starts to like, I only got 5 minutes and I'm running because it's just too much. But the one way that to me I thought it was interesting in terms of like just playing with the idea of a technological future, which is to say if we ever do advance, and considering we're not really making great headway in terms of like stopping the planet from being a ravaged nightmare. Yeah, I think we're going the route of Ready Player One, essentially, of like the VR future, that kind of whole meta thing. So I could see there being like an idea of like, oh, well, this specific piece of like 3D modeled content that is unique and has like the right structure and this and that. The idea that you're gonna specifically, like, that's a really niche thing with NFTs. Like the idea that you're gonna specifically, not a lot of people care that you have a Pokemon card that is the real deal. Like people are like, neat. What? Get away from me. Like, what are you talking about? But for the people that do, it's like a monetary thing. But when NFTs make sense in that way, of like, I could see Japan looking to the future and being like, oh, this kind of makes sense from like, if we are going to have a future that is very much online, is there a value to be had within this this digital kind of code that determines you have the actual thing? Because frankly, there's like a whole communication thing here right now, but like, what if we're in a simulation, and why is the thing that is valuable to you valuable? You know, and usually it's demand. So who's to say when we're all in this like a VR future that there isn't serious demand for X, Y, Z? You know, so I don't know. But I also think that most NFT things is just done in a horrifying way. Like most of it is not done in that way. It's like, how can we extract the most amount of money from morons? And it's like, oh, well, it's kind of a little scummy, but you know, Darwin's Law or whatever it's called. You know, we can't really help people who are just like, fuck it, I'm gonna annihilate myself. You know. Alone says also Grin. I know I've been MIA from Genshin, but I have, I've been MIA from Genshin, but I have some potential good news. Kazuo rerun is coming next patch, and the new character is on it. As far as the leaks say, Lone Syndicate. I heard about that passively this weekend. I'm super excited if that is the case. I'm not gonna get my hopes up because that seems like quite the stacked deck. That'll be a really high selling banner, but also I also heard that people who have like extreme beta access, who are currently working on, I think, the Dendro like area, people have been saying that they're people who are beta testing that kind of expansion have said that there is not even like the slightest bit of end game added. So it's still just quest chests and that's it. So to me, that's as much as I'm excited for the Kazuha stuff and that, you know, all that. I am also kind of like, oh, so even at this point where like the message is clear, the message is clear. Everyone's like, we need end game, please. They're still like, yeah, you get banners, and we're like, okay. And yeah, I'm very excited to like play with the new. If that is the case, if I get Kazuha and a couple of copies of that one person, awesome. But a part of me is like, I'm at the point where I'm like, I want to like, how to put it? I want to vote with my wallet and my player time, if that makes any sense. So I do think like if Genshin sees a huge decline in their player base, I think they've kind of patched this though. Like I think they've cleverly made a system where Genshin doesn't need to change. Genshin could just be like, hey, oh, you know, you're not satisfied with Genshin. Well, guess what? We have 3 new games coming out pretty soon. Probably right around the exact time when people finally start having their final straw. And then you can play that in the meantime. That can grind. You can grind that. We might even turn that into a cash cow of endgame. You know, just being like an endgame kind of thing. Maybe we even build an endgame microtransaction aspect of that into one of the other games too. So that way, this is built like kind of sucking in the banner pulls and the microtransactions, and we have like kind of a gameplay endgame system that is why we keep investing in that. That way, we're building systems that literally feed us back money. I don't know, But yeah, with that being the sense, I'm very much wanting to support another game like Genshin. That's my feeling. Because that's the way as a consumer I can kind of make a voice known by enabling another property, I guess. By saying like, and hopefully for fucking heaven forbid, they shit the bed too, but hopefully they do right. Who knows? Fucking who knows? But yes. But yes, very excited. I don't mean to down it. I'm very excited for Kazuha and also him coming in that thing. And the one like martial art guy popping off too. Fluff says, but they also thrive off of gambling, so guess I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, also I was going to say Japan, to me, the other thing that made sense, Fluff, about them embracing NFTs is I heard somewhere that Japan and China have a very weird relationship with investment. Like a lot of like it's insane. I think it's like Japan has one of the weirdest house crises happening where like so many people own houses but don't live in them. It's like a thing in China apparently, or Japan. I'm not sure which one it was. Maybe it's Asia in general. But it's when you have enough money, you don't like invest it in the stock market, or you don't like put it into a bank and save it. You buy a home. And then after you buy one home, you buy a second home, and then if you make enough more money, you buy a third home, and you just keep buying houses. So they have like 15 houses that are like no one's using them. So I could see there being another kind of avenue where people are like, hey, I want to pursue this, you know, I want to invest in this. This is my version of investment that makes sense to me in my head. Let me do that, you know, especially with one like it's all fancy schmancy, like, you know, being talked about so much. I could see a bunch of younger generational kids being like, hey, I could do a little bit of buying a house and then maybe buy some of these other things, and like, because it's all the idea of like value being generated over time, and that kind of whole thing. And Nier says, yeah, even though NFTs is a shit investment. I mean, Nier, as much as I want to agree with you, I 100% am in agree with like NFTs yucky. I'm 100% in like baby no likey. This is disgusting. But everyone said the same thing about Bitcoin, and motherfuckers are sitting here cooking, man. Sitting here like, you would have told me there's a world where Bitcoin memes, bullshittery in 2000, whatever the hell came out. I think it was 2016 I was hearing about it. Maybe less than that. I was like, this is such a weird thing. Sure, it's like you do a code and then you get a Bitcoin, whatever, weird. And now motherfuckers are retiring at age like 12 because they were like into it, and they're like, this is a neat idea. I'll buy 3. and yeah. Now, granted, it could be crashing, could be going up. I don't know. All I know is there's a specific barometer of madness, and if you get in at the right time of madness, you can really thrive. Now I'm too much of a baby to do anything so brash as put my money in anything. besides like the minimal risk possible. I'm still 100% ready for that shit to just burn alive, you know? At least the loot boxes are dying out in various games, only to be replaced by battle passes. Yeah, I guess to me, I think loot boxes are tremendously worse than battle passes personally. Because yeah, loot. Yeah, but also I don't know if loot boxes are dying. I think they're just getting smarter. I think like Genshin is I think finally like the Western companies are like looking at Genshin and what it did and like, oh, so that's how you're supposed to do it. Like you're supposed to make it very flashy. You're supposed to do this and that and make it so that these characters have value and all that stuff. And like, oh, okay, and then you could make a story that makes them even more valuable because they start to introduce these characters. Okay. And it's just like little by little, like, oh, and they're starting to get way more clever about the way they're doing kind of battle passes, or not battle passes, loot boxes or pulls, whatever you want to call it. I gotta take down that fucking motivational one. I'm the most non-motivational person ever. I put that there because I was feeling good about myself. You know, I was like, let's make others feel okay. Matism says, how does one commit the confidence? What? How does one commit the confidence? Am I reading something wrong? I don't know. Do you mean how does someone confident? How does someone become confident? You're talking to me? You're talking to me about this? I don't know, man. I don't even know if I'm answering the right question or if I think Matism just uses it as a meme. As to be like, hey. It's like a scream. It's like an eternal scream in a conversation. I don't know, man. I was thinking about going for it, talking about confidence. Oh. The only thing that right now to me that I was thinking about the other day, it's not really motivational or like interesting really, but I feel like the sooner you can realize that everybody is cringe and you are cringe, and almost everything you will ever do is cringe, and to somebody, the more you will give people a lot more give and take. You'll be like, okay, maybe that guy's just going through it, who knows. But also, you'll give yourself a lot more give because you're like, you know what? Everyone's a little fucking gross and a little bit annoying and a little bit like, ooh, just, ooh, pain. So, you know, that helped to me. Yeah. But yes, as much as that is the case, I still get embarrassed. As much as, you know, hey, it's fine, who cares? It's still like, yeah, but I can't fix the, like, dopamine / serotonin, those are all good chemicals. Whatever the stress chemical is. Fuck, I should know this. Cortisol, I think, is that right? Cortisol spikes. Undead says, also saw a clip and damn, Grin, you ripped it. No, that's old ass clip, Undead. Thank you though. Appreciate the sentiment. Old ass clip. That is one way. I was just very happy that we pressed a 55 overhead. By the way, I was juiced that we were able to press a 50-pound kettlebell above my head. I just got a 75. Easily pressed that shit over my head, baby. Boom. Still can't do double that. Still can't do 2 kettlebells that are about 75 above my head because a lot of weight. A lot of weight that will snap me in half. But yeah. Wilson says, I don't usually miss your streams as you don't really make my you don't usually make my streams because they are late from. I'm so sorry, Wilson, but I'm happy to have you, buddy. I forgive me. Yeah, I know. To me, it's always a barometer. In fact, I was blown away that one time when we were streaming the conferences like a couple hours early, like 5 hours earlier, and a lot of people popped in that I haven't seen in a while, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. We streaming the same time every day is good for some people, not so good for others. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what to do with that. Should we change like one of our stream times to be in a better time period? Maybe in the future. It's always good to try things. Fluff says, I think Dark Tide is seeking to deliver more customization opportunities and not just in cosmetic avenue. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that idea. To me, when I'm looking at a lot of the gameplay right now, it does look like various, like it looks like, oh, you're playing the assault person, you're playing the assassin-like character, and then there's the tank that looks like generally different, like the most different. And I can only imagine you could have one of him on a team. I imagine that everyone's going to be pining for that character, but I like the idea of customization. That sounds fun. Ideally, we'd be able to make a nice looking character though, because I feel like in the Vermintide games, they're kind of hell-bent on making like a kind of like a character that's like, ew, this is very rough, very rough, and like mutton chops is the best way I could describe the whole thing with Vermintide. Technically speaking, Vermintide 2 does have a base change as you level your character. Yeah, fluff, but unless I'm wrong, I don't know if it's to the extent in which I think is actually making it so that you're more like people could add that idea of like, hey, you have a base, and maybe when you get to like the halfway point in the story, it becomes whatever, like it becomes slightly nice. I'm talking about a crock pot that has like 6 tiers to it. Each tier you can see like a shine, and then it like becomes more clean, more ornate, because that's the dope. Like you need to play to the actual mind of the player and the dopamine release, which is what I think would trigger that. You feel like if you just had like, it'd be like if you could buy bases, like if you could be like, oh, I've made a bunch of money, I'm gonna buy like a nice pretty castle. That takes away all the satisfaction from like one by one, piece by piece, making something better, more useful, having greater value. Because some people do like you can customize your house, but they don't have any sort of like value in customizing. Like there's not like when you make like a tier 5 crock pot, you actually get like twice the amount of gold every day or whatever the heck. It would just be enough of an incentive to make you want to do it, you know? So it starts off pretty crappy and then gradually fills out with trophies, paintings, and personal rooms for each character. Yeah, but see, that to me is the weird thing. Like if I was playing Vermintide and I came back, and as I was grinding, I seen a room that was like nice and ordained, but I didn't have to specifically sit there and upgrade each piece of it bit by bit to like make it look nice. And then I would have felt kind of like, oh, I guess we're just kind of we have this now. Also, why did that switch to Tower of Fantasy? Weird. Anyways, yeah, we can watch some Tower of Fantasy gameplay. This looks really good, actually. This is the Genshin competitor that I want to support. Because also, it seems like it'd be hard pressed to not have an end game, essentially, you know. Matism says, ooh, glad you didn't change when you were gone, Matism. Love says, I don't think Diablo is a good comparison point anymore because of Diablo Immortal existed. Yeah. To me, my whole idea was the original classic Diablo. Yours says Diablo Immortal isn't a real Diablo. Yeah, that's why I hear. Yeah, I meant the OG Diablo. Diablo Immortal is the best thing to ever happen to Path of Exiles. Yeah, that's what I hear everyone say. Hey, Path of Exiles, you should give that one a try. It's really done, well done. I think it's also made by not Obsidian, is it? It's made by one of the companies that seems pretty solid. It's a real Activision / Blizzard game, yeah. Or at least you forget the real money audience house that Diablo 3 launched with. Yeah. Oh, at least you forget a real money action house that Diablo 3 launched. I don't know. I didn't know that. If anyone thinks that they won't find a way to sneak in as much monetization as they can for any and all future Blizzard games, they're kidding themselves. Well, aren't they bought by Xbox? Because I'd be surprised, Fluff. I think Xbox... I haven't seen many of the Xbox Game Pass games have that stuff there. And maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm like missing Sea of Thieves or something that had some sort of weird thing. But it does seem like Xbox is trying to like not produce this weird kind of like... I feel like Xbox is trying to be real careful with PR. They don't want to be like known as the ruiner of so many devs. Like they're like, we gotta be careful. We buying up a lot of people. So I think... maybe in the future we'll see a shift. Hopefully. Also, look at these characters, dude. They look rad. Also, the art of her looked terrible in comparison to what she looks like in actual 3D land. And yeah, again, I still don't know if this is going to be enough to replace like multi-character swapping, but you know, it'll definitely be more of a main. Like, who's your main, dude? Oh, I'm not sure. You might be able to go for ogres if does it really. That'd be surprising. I wonder if I wonder if they're gonna add a mage, a healer in Vermintide, because that was always the one thing which was, it made endgame really antsy, like not having a healer. But it's funny because I think so many games fuck it up in that way, where like it's either if you have a healer, you're gonna take so much fucking damage, you're gonna get blitzkrieg if you don't. if you don't have a healer that's on point. Or the healer can't heal for shit and they're basically useless. You know what I mean? You're like, goddamn, balance doesn't exist. Ogre is one of the 4 playable characters. He just has a unique look compared to the regular Imperial humans. Okay. Who's not gonna go Ogre though? You know me? That's crazy to me. Do you think he's gonna have like a different skill tree? Like you said that every class can kind of dip into whatever they want. It's more of like a customization, play your own way kind of idea. What's good, Beastie? Beastie says, hey people, what's good, Beastie? How's your day been, buddy? Fluff says, and recently recently been announced that Overwatch is ditching loot boxes for a battle pass, and Diablo 4 will possibly have, will also have one. Yeah, to me the battle pass thing makes less sense in a game that's kind of like that, I guess. Yeah, in Overwatch it makes a little sense. Again, to me, battle passes make no fucking sense unless you do what Fortnite does, which is like actually update the game with genuine new things, because people are getting sick and tired of the feeling. Regardless, like that's the main thing you have to cut through, even if your game is like good. Like I got so sad when I heard that what's it fucking called, the guys who are making not Metro, it's the Metro adjacent game that people love. You guys will know this, but it's, yeah, basically it's not Metro, but it's like an open world Soviet kind of like post-apocalyptic type situation. But people got on those people's asses for like trying to make more money, and for their game it actually looks like it costs a lot to make. It actually looks like it's detailed. You have a bunch of weird shit. Yeah, like to me it sucks, but they didn't account for the fact that it's like no, you're making a game in a space where everyone is sick and tired of being manipulated and or getting a bad deal. Whereas I would argue, honestly, Fortnite has made a fucking, like, is doing a really good job. Like, Genshin is the best example of, like, completely not doing a good job when it comes to giving both parties a good deal. And Fortnite might be the best example of, like, no, we, like, reinvested a ton of it. The game is constantly being ripped apart and stuck back together for better or worse. Give it a season, you might be back to what you want. And, like, Genshin is the game that stays the same forever and never changes, ever. Even when there's a giant new island. What really changed? What really changed? There's some cool story things. Is a story thing where it's like $200? Probably not. Anyways. Beastie says, dude, Immortals is crazy. Yeah, I've been hearing that all week, Beastie. Or all month, honestly. Rightfully so, I think. Space Marines is, oh my god, I'm so delayed on the goddamn chat. Space Marines is a third-person action game, which was super satisfying gameplay, but the multiplayer was a bit rough. Okay, is it not the Warhammer Space Marine type thing, which is with the things and the blue man and all that? Also, what's good, Steph? What's good, Stephanie? It's been a hot minute, Stephanie. Hope you take care of yourself. Stephanie, I want you to know every single time I see your name and I want to say Stefan, but I stop. I stop right there. I got it. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm gonna have a heart attack. So hot. So warm in here. Never thought anyone could go get to that point, but wow. Yeah, no, I think that's the thing, man. I think almost that's why, like, to me, I'm still, it makes me a little sad when I see companies that are doing so good but not getting anything. Like when I see I mean, to me, I kind of, I go back and forth, but like Obsidian made a game called Grounded, and granted, I do think they didn't really capitalize on the factors that they should have. Like I seen like Fluff and me were talking about an update that happened a couple days ago, which is basically, it was like not a couple days ago, sorry, it happened months ago, but it was basically you could have pets, and you could have like a little tiny bug, like the smallest bug in the game you could have, and it did nothing for you. And it didn't like hunt, it didn't like attack enemies. Like I don't know how no one was like, like what? You can have like a dog like Sprout, but does nothing and gets stuck everywhere. Like everyone's just like, why? Like, don't do that. Like, take 5 steps back and like grind for like 5 more months if that's what it takes, and then make actually like an ant AI that can like fight and like find a way to you and like spawn in on you or something. But it's just like that is the most non-additive thing I've ever seen. It's like the most additive but nothing happened type thing ever. And I'm like, that is not what that game needs. That game needs something, but that's not it. But anyway, but the game is also cheaper, so yes. Also, I think I like the one on the left more. Near says, play to earn is now a thing. Many games which are losing players are introducing NFTs to retain players, but all that brings is a system to the system is bots. Yeah. Well, it's hilarious because like everyone's just like, in order to keep what I once had, you destroy. It's like that's the best example of Netflix to me. Is like their response to like other streaming services taking their like audience was not, maybe we need to look at our content and what we're producing and the way we're producing it. And instead they're like, maybe it's account sharing. And you're just like, what? Like, are you okay? Who is mind parasiting you this badly? And it's just like, you go and get crushed immediately. But yeah. So far, what I can tell is Darkside and has the Ogre and Rifleman and Faceseeker and Crusader type class. Okay, yeah, I want to see. Do you know when that game is coming out, Fluff? Lone Syndicate says, on the bright side, today on counter side, I got the new character. Her name is called Sigma. Fucking, am I lined up? Am I lined up, Lone Syndicate? Did you do this to me? There's a Sigma balls in there or something. Some sort of horrible nightmare. But okay. She's gonna be a riot if this is not a joke. That it's gonna have a punchline and hurt me. But that is a wow. I'm also probably not reading it right. Probably like Siege or something. Or Sieg. And she is adorable. I got her on the 50th summon, but during those 50 summons, I got 2 other SSR characters. Goddamn lucky 5 stars. I got one character I already got, and another one. Do they have any sort of pity system on Syndicate that makes you have like a win even when you lose? Hello from yeah. Steph got it way quick. She was like, I'm not the person. I'm starting to recognize your name, and the pink helps a lot. I'm like, makes sense. Fluff says, Ogre is the big tank guy. Rifleman is the more standard gun-focused type. Psyker will be the mage. Ooh. I wonder how, is the mage going to be like not a mage, but like throws bombs type shit? Is that what's happening? Ba, 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 ba. Paladin is going to be the Crusader is going to be the melee focus. Awesome. It's cool to see that there still is a melee focused type thing. And of course the possible magic elemental is going to be, okay, the Paladin is going to be that. Nice. I don't know what I'm going to choose yet. Oh, Near says, how about map size? I'm going to throw up my mouth. Give me mouth. Give me mouth. How about map size as big as Genshin? I'd be happy with, like, honestly, yeah, like, again, my thing is, Fallout was a great game. Did not have the most, not Fallout, sorry, New Vegas was a great game. Didn't have the biggest map, you know? Oh, Todd Howard has confirmed that Fallout 5 will come after, yeah, no, I seen that, yeah. The Fallout 5 will come after Elder Scrolls sequel. So, the new Elder Scrolls is going to be Fallout 5 after that, which is nice. Keeping things normal. I guess they're, like, threw in one different thing, like Starfield. Do you guys think that Starfield will be as successful as all their other properties? Because I feel like New Vegas really captures Fallout really captures a style, and I think Skyrim really captures that fantasy style, I guess. But I'm not sure if, I don't know. I feel like with all the like kind of space movies and shit, and especially like that was the theme at this year game conference was like space game, more space games, a little bit of more horror space games, gray, and yeah. It's a little bit of a stacked year in that way. What's good, Ashley? / Richie. Also, Richie, can you change your color of your name back to what was Ashley, just so my brain can help fucking rationalize? Although the lick to the face clearly dodged, but so that helps me pinpoint who this is. But yes, hope you take care of yourself. Richie. Love says, if the spam between games is any indication, we'll get Starfield early next year. Yeah, I think that's what it's saying. Yeah, Starfield got delayed. Elder Scrolls in sometime in 2027. Wow. Fuck, that's so far away. Man. Man. Pain. Wilson says, I'm looking forward to Deathverse. So yeah, Deathverse looks awesome. Again, I'm really hopeful. The beta didn't really give me the questions that I wanted answered. Like, I don't know what is besides the Battle Royale, Arena Royale kind of thing. Like, is there story? Is there like a, yeah. Like, I think it's just going to be it seems like, if the beta is any indication, it's just going to be like a PvP game. And that's it. Like, you're just going to jump in for 2 matches, maybe 3 matches, 30 minutes maybe an hour, and then bang out, and then you're done for like a day, you know? Which I don't know if it's going to translate to the Let It Die audience, which was used to playing for like minimum 2 hours because you couldn't fucking find an elevator or you're in Tengeku, you know? So I don't know how that's going to translate. Hopefully well. I want to see them succeed, but yeah. The less you know about NFTs, the better. You know, I agree it's a mess. But to me, I do think that that's interesting, the prospect of like a future that is online, like a Ready Player One situation, and having like some sort of stake to something that would be valuable in that world. Although I do think, like, if you want to like future-proof yourself, if you are believing that this is 100% a world that's going to be within your lifetime, which I may be, who knows. I do think you best get good at like 3D modeling. Like like architects are gonna cry because weird 3D model people are gonna be killing it in these games, these worlds, whatever. I do think that's a good bit away though. I don't know if that will be in my generation. I'd hope in some ways that it is and it isn't. Yeah. And the less you engage with it, better. You know, I agree with that. I agree right now. It's just messy. Also, look at these fucking cool emotes, dude. Genshin, eat your heart out. Also, look at that guy's fucking character design. Looks like he's entirely built off a different model. You know what I mean? Like, his clothing literally protrudes like fucking 8 inches off his chest and shit. It's just a different ass character. Richie says, I really hate NFTs too. The bane, as they all seem to be more scammy. Yeah, no. Again, I'm with you. I'm with you on the NFT bad. All right. I do think the coolest perspective that I've heard to play devil's advocate for it is that, but that's also quite a ways off and is almost not at all what people are actually selling. People are like selling like an image, and you're like, really? Is this? I don't know about that. It's probably not the best thing, but if Ready Player One ever becomes real in my time, I'd say I'd stay in there and never leave. No, Undead, that's not. I don't think that's anybody. I don't think that's. It depends on how much success and failure you're willing to handle in the real world before you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. The only thing is I feel like if that ever happens, it'll either be like a golden age of crazy chaos and fun that's very similar to the internet, of you just basically choosing what kind of crazy encounter you want to have that day, or it'll become like a weird like a philosopher's gambit kind of breakdown about like, oh, you know, if we had a world where we could have anything, would we all just kind of go insane and like hate ourselves? You know, like without any order, does everything kind of become meaningless? So then would we synthetically create order and resistance? And maybe that's, you know, this is the kind of whole fucking weird theory of we're living in a simulation type shit, but yeah. NFTs are essentially a recipe, proof of ownership purchase, but hold literally no value itself. Yes, but if the world was like, if it was the only point of ownership, and that was the only thing that people valued within a system, that to me I could add up. I mean, that's the same Ready Player One shit of like, here's the OG Mario 3D model that has like it's literal imprinted and then it was destroyed. The whole NFT thing loses me when you don't destroy the original thing. You know what I mean? Like when you capture it and you break it so that it's like impossible to document again. that makes sense to me. Granted, people could always make it, but that's not the real like, that makes sense. But the fact that people could just like, here's a thing, take a picture, and that one's special because it's the same thing. It's like, that makes no sense to me. I'm lost again. Richie says, someone thought they owned Dune and failed hard. Yeah. There's definitely going to be people who are like what? Like, what? Fluff says, Genshin has never promised an endgame and will likely never deliver one, even with its story finished. All we have to grinding is artifacts in Spiral Abyss. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think I ever said that Genshin ever promised an endgame. I just think that is what people most desire. Also, is this what? Yeah, that's so cool. Sorry, I just noticed that. That's rad. This was beta 1. This is like the first mock-up version of this character, and they turned him into this. That's wicked. That's such a huge change, actually. That's awesome. Richard says, from the look of the map leaks, yes, I can see them doing an endgame, as there is still a lot to be released in the depends on the stay up. Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but everything that I've heard, just a little bit of people who are peeking behind the curtain, they say that there's nothing in there just yet for there to be that. And honestly, the fact that they're not coming out swinging with like, hey, the new islands are not just going to be chests and quests, but we're going to have a brand new something for you to do every week. That's not just city reputation, which arguably that's something, but yeah. As there's still Fun says, no, we have Genshin in space or cyberpunk dystopia. What is that referring to? I talked for too long. There's a beard hair in my mouth. Disgusting. Nier says, Genshin is technically for casuals, not competitive players. I mean, depends on the definition, I guess. I wouldn't say it's for casuals or that. I don't care. Like, to me, if the end game content is literally just like picking grass, but it's somehow they make it fun, I'm not the like, you need to have a difficulty. Genshin just to me has like a lack of content thing. And also it has the resin negation and all that stuff, which I realize is a consistent theme throughout everything, but still a hellish nightmare. Richie says, I say more relaxing players than casual. Yeah, I'd say it just, to me, it's, you play for 10 minutes. Like, I'm sorry, that's like facts. Like, you just play for 10 minutes. Whatever you want to categorize as, that to me seems like just not enough. Like, that just seems like, okay, I'll do my dailies. Oh, the event, and sometimes the event's a little thick. Sometimes the story's a little bit long, but that's like one out of every 3 months we have that, Oh no, Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie says, I went back to Borderlands 3. Oh, I understand, but I hurt for you. Oh man, I really, that's the one thing I kind of don't want to, I've been like, there's videos trickling out right now when it comes to Brothers Grin and the whole Tiny Tina's game that we're covering, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and it's, a lot of them are me like, I don't want this game to fail, because I don't, but it definitely seems like I've never seen a nosedive like this, where so many people are like praising the absolute shit out of the game, and then this, and then it's funny because I think people would point to like magic mirror mysteries or something like that. I don't think it's that. I think it's chaos gear. I 100% think it's chaos gear. Chaos level is the worst, way worse than mayhem levels, like way worse. At least mayhem levels, it was either you got it or you didn't, and then you were just hoping that you got the right version of that, whereas if you like the fact that there's 3 types of shit variability, which is volatile, chaotic, and primordial, is just mess. It's just a mess. And there's like a 1% chance after pushing all the way to 30 that you get one of the primordial. It's the worst. It is like, I can't believe it happened like that. Like, how did nobody playtest and think, wow, when 50 legendaries are dropping, I feel nothing. I feel nothing anymore. Anyways, sorry. I'd rather just wait for more Dungeon Fighter Project. DNF Duel is making me jitter with anticipation. Ooh. Japan thrives off of gambling, gacha type things, casino, slots, machines, etc. China has ghost cities where they hire people to build and never populate it after it's done. Yeah, man, it's weird, but also like kind of smart. Like in that, if like that's awesome. Like to have like oh wow, there's like so many houses. Like, and if the economy ever shits the bed, I'm gonna buy one of these actual homes to sleep in. That seems kind of cool. Also, what happens if like aliens come down or some shit? Okay, they're like, hey, we got housing, baby. Yeah, I'm just talking about China ghost cities, mostly to inflate their GDP. Oh, interesting. Okay, weird. I never thought about that. Okay, Richie says, which is failing at the moment as companies are losing money. Fluff says crypto is a different story. NFTs is associated, but not the same thing. Didn't China ban crypto? Well, yeah, because that's the whole concept of crypto, isn't it? Though that makes total sense, though, Richie. I think the idea of crypto is to have a money that is unable to be basically duplicated, so that inflation can't really happen. So if a government wants to say, fuck it, we're gonna loan billions of dollars to a country or to a cause or to whatever. You don't just like your dollar that you worked for doesn't just crash. So it's to have kind of like a stable source of things. So I could absolutely see China being like, wait, no, we need to have the ability to produce our own coin, our own money thing. We need to hold that power. If people could basically it would go against the regime, I guess, which is shitty, but yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, that could be a lie, but I believe it. I believe it. Plus, crypto is a viable currency system, very unstable. Also, something about like it not being at the point in which they've made a code for it that makes it so that it's not like a net negative in terms of the acquisition of it, right? In terms of like electricity and stuff like that. I don't know though. And are often just a case of arts and assuming they're stolen, being able to copy it, and it's ironically quite fungible. Yeah, no, that's to me the one thing that makes no sense about the whole NFT things. It's just the idea that like, who is buying this? Like who? Like I understand if someone's like, I'm making this digital art and I'm literally giving it to you and I'm destroying every like precursor that I have of it. So you actually have the one version of it and there's a code associated with it that proves that that's the code. That makes sense to me for the whole weird digital thing and like that. But the idea that like, yeah, those people are like selling 50 copies of the same image. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because this just makes no sense. Or YouTube's being sold and NFTs still. Well, yeah, to me it's crazy how many companies are jumping in on it. Like I don't know why Ubisoft got in on it. I'm like I don't know if it's just like that they seen like that there's a lot of money in it, but it didn't seem like there was that much money in it worth the like negativity of it, I guess, you know? Like the bad publicity seemed like it was enough to be like, stop it. Stop it. Fluff says, but as I was saying, Overwatch is being replacing loot boxes with Battle Pass. Do you like that better or worse than the loot boxes? I actually like that better, because at least you buy it once and you're done. You're not stuck in the hell loop of having to spend like a fucking bazillion dollars ever, and you actually have to. There's a reason. There's an incentivization just to actually play. I do think it's kind of scummy that you have to play in a huge amount of time in order to get access to this stuff. That's just kind of the one negative of a battle pass, is you could like miss out on getting shit. But like if there was a way to grind it and get all the loot in like the first 3 days time without like killing yourself, then that to me like, okay, it's a little less bad. Fluff says, it is already confirmed Conan Exile 3.0 will be introducing a battle pass and an in-game store with Conan coins. Woof. I don't know, man. Do you think the industry is changing? Oh, sorry, I reacted really terribly with that. But do you think the industry is changing because also I didn't see that. Sorry, Matilda. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. You been subscribed for 8 months. God damn, not Matilda. Thank you so much. Appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for the support. But I was gonna say, do you guys think the companies, if you think about the time it takes for game development to like shift and change, and for like them to kind of prep, I wonder if, because there was a big stink of like gambling and like that being regulated, and there being like a lot of stuff, like especially with the acquisition of Blizzard and all of these weird things going on with like seemingly like what is it called, like countries and like states investigating gaming companies for all kinds of things, and there seems like there's just a bigger lens on game development and gaming practices, to where I wonder if that's which pushing enemies along. Also, is this okay? Good, it's muted. I got distracted. I was worried you guys were hearing weird sounds. And because I'm so delayed on the chat, I'm fucked. Basically, you guys were like, "Grant, it's too loud." But yeah, I'm wondering if, do you think there people are starting to do the battle pass thing because people are sick of Game Pass, or because they're seeing that there's blood in the water and that they should leave now, because they could get fined like crazy. Undead says, nah, still ripped. I'm absolutely not that. My brother is pretty goddamn that. He is huge. I am definitely he got the like, he can't eat food because he'll gain weight like crazy, but he just packs on muscle. And I got the gangly, and like I burn off every piece of food that I eat. Also, I don't gain muscle at all. Also, I have to eat an exorbitant amount of food just to not be like a twig, which is not actually fun. You have to overeat and you feel like you're puking all the time. Anyway, sorry. Thank you, Undead. Very appreciate much. The nice thing I heard all day. Thank you. Undead says, oh yeah, when you're streaming E3 on the red play button app, did it only crash for me? Or no, it crashed. Unfortunately, Undead, it was the same thing. We were streaming the first day that we were streaming. My power just went out. So we got in there right around the time when we were seeing The Rock be like, look at where I'm playing this guy. I love video games. And yeah, that crashed right after that, unfortunately. And it stayed my power went out for 8 hours. So I was like in the dark for the whole day, which was terrible. Fluff says Warhammer is a grim, dark empire. Empire Man is very grainy, gritty, and rough-looking characters. If I want to see a nice-looking character, we'll need playable elder, elves, etc. I don't know if I think there's a fine line between looking like rough and tough, but not like what the fuck happened kind of thing. Like I remember seeing that when the witch that existed in Vermintide, I'm like, wow, they made you look, your bones are sharp as shit, like your cheekbones are fucking jetting out of your face and whatnot. She also looks angry all the time, which kind of looks cool. But yeah, I hope there's a little bit of play. It's not just one or the other. It's funny because I think Saints Row has the opposite problem, where it's too clean, like there's too much crispness to the characters. Also mostly owned by Tencent, which I mean, what isn't these days? Yeah, man, that's freaky. What's really freaky is when you hear about how Tencent addresses like other companies that don't want to be acquired by them. I think Genshin, I was hearing a Genshin story about this, where Tencent was like trying to acquire Genshin, like MiHoYo. And yeah, they're like, no, we're okay. And Tencent's like, okay. And they started doing like really fucked up things and trying to like bury MiHoYo. They tried to like fucking lock them in and like try to destroy them. It's almost like if you're not with us, we're gonna kill you then. We're gonna destroy you, and then we're gonna maybe make what you did, or we're just gonna destroy you. Which is kind of like, okay, that's a little like, I don't like that. Also, ew. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that at all. Do you see that? It was cute until she fucking was transparent and you can see her spinal cord through her stomach. Oh, I don't like that. That's honestly kind of metal. But jeez. Jesus Christ. Fluff says, I don't think Xbox has enough control over Activision/Blizzard yet. Not enough to change much in terms of the business side of games, and were development before that acquisition. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I just think that at some point, I think that they would either, like, if they started getting a lot of hot water, I think that they would step in and be like, hey, you're now representing us. You're stop, like, just stop, like, whatever, something's gonna have to give, like, you're gonna have to also I think it's something that you could allocate, like, whether that's bumping up the drop chance or something. Yeah. Lois Think it says, Grin, I found a site where I can watch Cupid's Chocolate season 2 after searching for a while. I could have gave you a site, my guy. I could have gave you like 5 sites. I'm happy you found one. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know if that one doesn't work out for you. Because, yeah, there's a lot of sites. A lot of them are shitty. One I have has been up for years and has not thrown viruses at me. Granted, I do have an ad blocker. Granted, I'm also a YouTube Red member, whatever it's called. What's it called? YouTube membership, whatever it's called. I'm a YouTube membership person. But yeah, I have that where so I'm not like shitting on my content creators by ad blocking or whatever. Even though I understand why people do that. It's not, yeah, it makes sense. Ads are annoying, all that. Fluff says, I'm not saying it does make sense, but it's that the monetization scheme that works and is legal worldwide. It's a season of cosmetics, consumable content. You pay for a premium track to get the most out of it, but also must be paid daily or playing daily if you want to get it all. Yeah, see, to me, I feel like if they did the harmony of both of those, where you could get a battle pass that it wasn't like you had to play every single day, get a lot of hours in order to attain. But it was also like, hey, we're offering you like cosmetics and maybe like a few XP things that are like helpful but not determining your progression. But then they like use the battle pass money to actually sequence into like development for their game, content, new ways of playing. That way the game, it actually makes sense from a business standpoint. Like, imagine if they made like a new gameplay loop that everyone loved and they were just going crazy and that had like a new resurgence for the game. Maybe they had like a brand new game mode where people who aren't traditionally into like an anime game like this game was into like this amazing beat mini game or whatever. But it actually has depth, and people got into it for that. But maybe they keep what's in the game so that way that doesn't just, like, that people can come from all places around the world. And also, you can introduce your friends to a game and say, dude, what do you call it? We could do 1,000 different things in this world, rather than it being like, well, if only you were here for the event that was 60 million years ago, you know? And you're like, yeah, it was kind of fun, actually, but, you know, I don't remember a lot about it, honestly. But anyways, yeah, you know, yeah, crazy. So it's investment time and money. I see. Does Diablo 4 makes enough since I have the battle pass because it shares multiple multiplayer, co-op games, PvP cosmetics. Key to the point of the battles. Yes. You described Warhammer 40k Space Marines. Was just saying that was the game. Okay, gotcha. I was wondering if that was right there. Low Ticket says, I will say the time when I was playing Fortnite like that, I would buy most of the battle pass because it was just a lot of value. And everything you logged in, a new season, it was refreshing, like you had to throw out all of the old information and reward your brain to what's new. Yeah, or rewire your brain to what's new. Yeah. To me, I think, again, if somebody is able to do the Fortnite thing, but without like killing their developers, essentially, because I do think Fortnite was insane. Fortnite's like breaking a chunk of the map and like reformatting everything. Like, I think Genshin does have some sort of sense of like, maybe it's good to like do a big update and then do like a weirder beat update, if it's only like every now and again for like as like a brace to get into the new thing. Honestly, I would have like not a lot of problem with Genshin if it just kept its events. Yeah, because at least that's like an argument for them. It's not maybe endgame content, but it's something to do and maybe had a slight reason to do it. Or even just a reason for you to like, introduce the game to with one of your friends. Like, you show them this world and you show them all these cool things, you know? But yeah. Darkseid just has 200. Oh, Darkseid just has releasing in 2022. Holy shit! So it came out this year. Golly, I was not expecting that. Whew. So won't be like. Oh wait, no, sorry. Psychic power invoked. Invoking the warp to create psychic storms and such. Oh, that's awesome. I hope it's like the, you know, like, is it called Prey? No, not Prey. Is it called Prey? It's the one with the weird grudge girl who's like telekinetic and just eviscerating people. I hope that's the telekinetic power in that game, where you're just like, boom, and an enemy just gets annihilated. You're like, Jesus Christ, this is terrifying. I'd rather you hit him with a fireball or something. So it won't be like fire magic, but different effects and themes. That's gonna be fun. Starfield is going for the ground, going for grounded retro space exploration theme. I noticed closer to the 60s and 70s. Yeah, I agree with that. With its signature Skyrim/Fallout 4, we'll have to wait. Yeah, I'm wondering, do you think they're gonna connect it? Because I do think there's a lot of like, yeah, they're like the Skyrim and Fallout 4 at least are connected because of Nirnroot, essentially, which is like, maybe, who's to say if it's 1,000 years in the future or a million years in the past, who knows. But I do wonder if they're gonna have like one planet that is like an Easter egg, like we get to the very farthest reaches of the solar system in Starfield, and then there's like one base or one planet, and if you go down to that planet, there's like a little base that's like with a telescope that's just like, I was doing research and we could barely see the other the other cosmos or something, another system that seemed to hold magic and life. Yeah, because how the fuck are they gonna explain that magic? You know what I mean? What happened to that? Okay. Let's think. It says encounter side, they do have a pity system, but there's pity is at 50, not 150. Yeah, so that's the same as wait, no, their pity system is at 150. After 150 summons, after you get the character, you are guaranteed the character on a 50-50 nonsense, but you can get an SSR character, but it does reset your pity, so you could get 2/3 off-banner characters and one more of the characters. Okay. On top of it, not like Genshin, where if you get an off-banner character, you will just be burnt and all. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Well, that's better. Honestly, I'm not sure if you guys seen the Tower of Fantasy polls. I think it was 50. It was either 50 or 60. You get a guaranteed. I don't know if it was a guaranteed 5-star. I don't know. When someone was explaining to me, I was like, oh, that seems actually like pretty cool. Like, and also it made sense. Like, there's a lot of stuff in like gotcha stuff that it's like, why 150? Why that? But this one's like, oh, okay, no, I actually guess that adds up. Granted, I do think it's also built to like have many 5 stars, not just one, you know, which tends to be normal gotcha, I think. But yeah. That coffee is disgusting. Yeah. Oh, Fluff says, I do like the look of the UI and outfits, space suits, etc. from Starfield. It's not an aesthetic I've cared about before, but I think it looks memorable and distracting enough to set it apart from the upcoming space game. No, I do. I think it still looks like a good game, Starfield. I'm a little worried that it's going to be space always suffers from the problem of feeling a little empty, I think. You know what I mean? And again, I think if they give me hope when they start talking about like going down to planets, like the thousands of planets and like mining asteroids. The thing is, like, that's cool because it's a gameplay loop that I could see myself existing, like making sure to go to like the cooler looking planets and then actually having a reason that's not just walk around and maybe find a quest that is literally like, hey, can you go to this planet and grab me that? And I'm like, ugh, you know. But if I could go to that planet, it looks stellar. I could set up a base and start mining that bitch and like getting a ton of resources and like. But this is the thing that has to happen. I need to have something to spend those resources on, or I need to have something or sort of economy in which I want to buy something from, like a fucking bazillion-dollar spaceship that is like the carrot on the stick to keep pushing towards, that actually has value and is not just like an aesthetic looking idea. You know, it has to have actual, like, it's the fastest thing, but is it that much faster from what you can already buy with relative good money or within a unique quest that you could find? No, but still, it's the best of the best. Work your ass off, get it. Lone Syndicate says, also Grin, I would never do a Sigma Ball joke. I'm mad. I couldn't help it. It was too funny. I love those, by the way. They're so funny. I always hate when I walk into them, though, because I'm like, I'm better than this. but they're like, it's like the best. Some people like toilet humor, like shitting your pants or shitting your anything, poop-wise. I'm not really about it. I'm like, but not me. I love me. What do you call it? Like a stupid, perfect Sigma balls. Anything like that. It was great. Makes me happy. Wilson says, I've been uploading all of my gameplay of Deathverse on YouTube. Had some good footage of throwing mushrooms on a player. Death blows being cancelled by a regular attack, and one match where someone watched me play was in the same game as me. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Wait, was that? We had that happen to us. I wonder if that's what you mean. But what do you call it, man? If you wouldn't mind, I would love to. Not a lot of people have uploaded to the right below the Let It Die tab or the Deathverse tab. I think it's the Let It Die tab. There's like a gameplay thing. If you were just to post your YouTube videos, I'd be able to pull them as long as I have permission to use and talk about the gameplay, because I only had the gameplay that I had, and that was very limited because I was kind of just having fun with you guys streaming rather than like decoding all the niche things you can do. But if you just post your YouTube channel in there with all the footage or like a playlist of it, that'd be great too. I could find it that way, if it's okay for me to like make a video about your footage. I don't know if I'll have time to do that, but I would like to just point that out. But yeah, I'm kind of balls deep in a book right now, and I'm trying to get through it. Fluff says, definitely a destructive glow up. Or no, a distinctive glow up. Yeah, with the characters. I was referring to the Honkai series and ZZZ on Genshin Alternatives, at least within the Holoverse umbrella. Yeah. No, there's a lot of them that are in that, and I'm like, Lozig says, Sigma is the actual character's name, honestly, before you said that. Anything I wasn't even thinking about that, but Sigma is like an android girl who has a personality of a kid. Okay. I didn't mean she acts childish, but she has like the innocence and pure aura. Oh, I see. Like kind of like a robot, no bad. Gotcha. Can talk to a machine and just wants to be friends with every machine. Oh, that's cute. And every person she meets. That's adorable. That's a good representation for AI. All right, we're out here seeing people getting stabbed by robots and shit. As far as her gameplay, she attacks her enemies by sitting on this giant floating robot that shoots lasers, and she also buffs up the team. As for her ultimate, she summons this giant robot that will push the enemy back. Interesting. Is it like I think you told me the gameplay of this, and I completely forgot about it. But I think it's like they move up like kind of like chess pieces, and they push them back, and that gets them out of the attack range. Kind of like two chess pieces going together like this. But yes. Stephanie says, nosedive sums it up unfortunate. Yeah, man. I want it. I want it to be good. I want it to be good. I want it to be good. But I think it still could be. I don't know if we'll see it be good fast enough. Especially with like them, like again, I don't know, maybe there's devs that know better than me that like are like community managers that know better than me that are like, no, the more you speak, the more people get mad. To me, I think that they should have some sort of communication about where they want the game to go and where they are hoping the game will go. Because right now it very much feels like nobody, like the only thing we know is that like we have more Mirror Mysteries MA character coming out, and you're like, none of the gear in the Mirror Mysteries has been that staggering. Like nothing that's super like reinventing like the classes, like certain DLC 3 mod or DLCs for Borderlands 3 did, you know? Like sometimes there were mods in there or guns that were like crazy. Stephanie says, and next is Ascended Gear. Yeah, I know. I'm out. I'll be honest. Sorry. It's not that I'm out. It's I am going to look in to how to just gib gear, essentially, how to mod gear. I'm not gonna make anything that's unattainable, of course, 'cause that's breaking it too much. But if I can find, I think there's a way to go into like the code of the gun of your save file and be like, change that to this, and now it's primordial, and that's all I'm gonna do. But to me, I'm not playing that game. It's just the most unrewarding thing, unrewarding feeling ever, you know. Fluff says, I'm neutral. I don't like monetization schemes at all because they never benefit the player. Yeah, I think we have very few examples of them benefiting the player, but yeah. Warframe has a specific look. Or sorry, Warhammer has a very specific look. The video games aren't meant to be divvied much from the defined look. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Makes sense. Oh, Lone Stinger says, you tell me this now after I searched for the site GRINN. Well, may I still have one of these sites? I got you. I'll upload it on the Discord. No, not on the Discord. I'll upload it. I'll probably message you on Discord when I get a chance. Remind me if I don't. I should remember though. Most battle passes strongly entice you to play. Yeah, a lot. For a month or more. Yeah. Whilst also investing into it. Fear. Yeah. FOMO. Yeah. That was only a fan theory. Skyrim, Fallout are not actually connected outside of being part of the same development. Easter eggs are just, you know, yeah, no, it could be. There was just a noteworthy Easter egg specifically on the Dreadwind in Fallout 4 that had like a Nern route, and like they were studying it and they were like, what is this? And it was just kind of like, to me, I don't know. To me, it's kind of hard to know what is lore and what is Easter egg, especially when no one determines that. So I think it's kind of a cop-out as well when someone just says, oh, it's an Easter egg. It's like, well, everything is an Easter egg. Like, what? So yeah. Matism says, Deathverse is out? No. We had a beta. That's what we were playing. It was quite fun. Undead says, I forgot. I didn't know if you had the chance to put in the Let It Die tab. I got to floor 100 pure pain. Well done, man. That's huge. That's awesome, Undead. Love hearing about that. Well done. That's also, yeah, floor 100, but that's one hell of an applause. That's again, to me, that's where it can be sitting pretty. I think that's also where you get access to the special bosses. Special bosses, just harder bosses, basically. Boys, we finally made it to the fucking bottom of the chat. God damn. I was sweating bullets there for a minute. I'm like, am I this behind? I was like, I've asked this question like 40 minutes ago. Wilson says, I've got some clean footage. That's awesome. Wilson. Limsky says, oh, GRINN, I wish you would have said something. I still have some gameplay on my Deathverse playtime. I would love that if you would slap that in there. Again, a part of me is worried because when I asked for this, I'm gonna like, oh, I really hope I can make a video about it, essentially. But I am in this weird. I kind of want to talk to you guys about it. But basically, I kind of had a crossroads these probably this week, probably like last that Monday. I think I had it where I kind of had to think to myself, and I was thinking, shit, what do I do? Because I'm at the point right now where I really am enjoying the thing I'm reading in terms of it being really helpful. Also, it's good, Young. Good to have everybody. Hope you've been taking care of yourself. But yeah, I basically was considering like doing not a hiatus, but just kind of like the kind of thing where it's like there might be like one video a week kind of thing. Probably not. I'm pretty good about like there being something. But I was at the place where I'm like, do I either quickly kind of like shit out a video, like kind of just smash something together and like, wow, there it is. So I can actually have the time to review and read and make notes. And this is not just like a normal book like the other one I showed you guys, the like kind of psychology one. This one has like assignments and all that kind of shit. And yeah, so I was basically just debating, should I like take a step back and then come back in full swing when I'm ready to implement these things I'm learning? Or do I make content that is not what I hope to make in the future, but will be enough right now to kind of sate people who are just kind of wanting to, you know, wanting me to poke them and be like, hi, how was your day? And we will always have our streams. That was not like streams to me always make things make sense. Like, it's like, yeah, I could just, we're just gonna stream, you know, and then I'll review my thing in the mornings. But yeah, but anyways, I ended up deciding just to run it, essentially, just to make a bunch of videos that were still fun. I'm still able to, and I think that's the problem I need to get into as well, is there's not going to be any consistency for probably a couple weeks, even though I've still not broken my like daily upload thing. Kind of, I maybe had like one day out of like a 5-month span that was a little fucky, but yeah, I'm in this place where I'm like wondering if I should take a step back and like just go hard into this book and then come back. But I think the best possible outcome is to read the book and then implement what I'm learning slowly, bit by bit, rather than just like trying to like read all of it and then like come back and be like, oh, which of the thousands of things I've learned, which one do I implement here, you know? Also, it is getting hot. I am roasting. Wilson says, I've been having to learn how to edit it, but I was going to add it on my channel so people are free to use it. Nice, that's awesome, Wilson. You know, editing can be a mess there, but when you start to get the foundational stuff, you'll just start cooking. Then you just gotta like be inspired by someone else's edit and then backtrack how they did that with knowing the tool set, which is fun. Oh, so yeah, no, I'll absolutely say you recorded it, Wilson. Yeah, no worries. Stephanie says, there is a way, but I'm not sure we can talk about it here. What do you mean? To like mod gear in the thing? I would think there. I think it would be fine. I don't think it'd be that bad. Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious what kind of... Is it that taboo? Is it... Yes, to edit save files. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, what do you call it? There's any sort of, like, yeah, I think that's always been done in the games. I don't know if there's in any of the terms of service that we like signed. I don't think there's anything that's saying that we can't do that. Yeah. Lone Sing, it says, I still haven't even done the first mirror mystery yet. Honestly, at this point, I kind of wish I saved $50 on buying the Ultimate Edition and brought a regular version of the one. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm in the same boat, Lone Syndicate. I'm like, man, they really sold this as like a, yeah, but also to me, Mirror Mysteries is not, it's not great. It's not worth the value, but if they did it in a smart way of like actually trickling out the content, actually making the legendaries like reshape meta, reshape a playstyle, give value to a type of play, that's awesome. But it's literally just like the most bare bones thing ever. Like, it's like, oh, this weapon, you can shoot grease on the ground and then you can ignite it, and that's it. Then you're just like, what? Like, what? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Matism, for the pocket sand of emeralds, of bits. They put a Master Chief in the soder. Okay. Okay, Matism. Let's see what it says. All right, they played the $50 there. Undead says, I was constantly at one shot, all worth it for the Reaper. The Reaper coat is ungodly cool. I will admit that. I don't know if I can handle that level of like, ugh. Because Undead, I don't know how you deal with it, because for me, when I was playing Let It Die, and I got like I got quarter health, I was just annoyed. Because like, to me, all the times when it happened, it wasn't because I like fucked up a melee combo or something like that. It was because I got shot up like bit by bit. They were just picking me off by shooting Kamases at me. Like just trickling, hitting me. And I was just like, fuck you. And then finally my armor breaks, and I'm just like, fuck you. You know, like you get hit once, or you just get like blitzkrieged and your armor just gets shredded and you're just like, It's just too emotionally painful for me. I just wanted to be done with it. I just wanted to say stop it and walk away. Stephanie says yes. To edit save files. Okay. 7 Sin has a lot of details. Okay, is this a channel or is this a site or something? Stephanie. I'm curious. I've never seen 7, whatever that is. 7 Sin. 7 Sins is that a person or is that a Discord? It's a website. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. I might have to save that because yes, I thought it would be as simple as going into like the code of it and changing one of the aspects of the code in your save file. Although granted, I think there's like thousands of code within a save file, so hopefully that like categorizes it. Esteban said, Red says, super late. I was watching YouTube and looking into some mod stuff. Hello, what's good? Ready to explain yourself? We're just happy to have you, Red. I am sweating, dude. Oh, also, I wanted to show you before we wind down my kettlebells. I spent a lot of money on them, but then we're done. We're free. Now that we bought them, we don't need any more kettlebells for the rest of my life, which is nice because they're modular and they go up by 2 pounds. Let me show you again. I'm really not sure if this tiny chair, which legs do this, like they bow out like that. Also, can you guys see? Where's the thing? This. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. No, you can't because the lighting is shit. But I have like a chunk of my knuckle missing. Actually, where it is? Okay, let me see if I can pick it up and get it over here. Okay, can you guys see that? Look at my kettlebell. This is not 70 pounds, but it can hold 70 pounds. This is, I think, 44 or something. But yes, it goes perfectly within the hand. You guys can't see it, but it's got this like kind of curve thing here. This bit right here. So it's like, it's all chunky. It's not directly down. Oh, it's a bad idea doing that when I'm already really warm. But yeah, it has like a little bolt at the bottom, so you can just unscrew that, and then you can just slot in a little baby things. Oh, I'm warm. Holy shit. Holy shit, I'm roasting. Man, there is a program to use to open a save file, exit it, and then reclose it. Ooh, okay, that doesn't actually sound that terrible. Awesome. Nice. Nice. Also, let me catch up on chat. Let's see. It says I am almost at the end of Red Dead 2. You'll have to let me know how the emotional damage is, because I never finished Red Dead. Now people said it's like, I don't know if it's like emotional damage or if it's like closure. I don't know. Red Dead 2. I am at chapter 6, and I am doing an honorable route. My horse died in the most recent mission. I did so. I have mission. I did so. I had to reload a save. I know I could have just got a new horse, but no, I care about my horse too much to like she is the most beautiful. Yeah, I agree. 100% understand. 100% understand. Makes complete sense. I get it. You don't have to complain. Yeah, I would be the same. I do the same thing. Matism says, I survived because fire inside burns brighter than the fire around me. I fell down into the dark chasm, but the flame burned on and on. Joshua Graham followed 4. Okay. I should have read it. I would have read it with more passion if I knew it was a Fallout 4 character, or Fallout New Vegas character. Is that the guy who literally is covered in bandages and is in a permanent state of reloading? Matism? Also, thank you for the 50 bits of pocket sand. I seen a VTuber have something that was really cool. It's like whenever, like basically, people can throw shit at her, and she gets like hit with like a teddy bear or some bullshit, and her character goes like "frap." I just thought it was such a fun thing to add to your stream. Undead says, "Laugh my ass off. Are you gonna turn it around so we can see the number again? Again? Which one? Oh no, this one. So the reason why I bought this one, Undead, is because it's a modular kettlebell. So I don't have the gear with me, but I basically there's a. Oh, you can see that barely probably, but there's a seam line right through the middle. So there's a bolt too right there. So basically, I'm able to pull out a bolt. And like there's plates to it, so I can basically bring this one all the way up to 75. Right now, I think I have this one set to 46 because of I have my blue one, which is at 44. So I'm at probably at 47. It's right where that is. But yes. Oh, my arm. Lone Singlet says that's a good looking cat. I know, man. It's all dark. It's like perfectly matted too. It's gonna be all crumbly though, cause yeah. But yes. Also, the handle is like extra thick, which is not good for me. Which is not good. But we're adapting, you know. But Red says, by the way, Grin, I shared my boss in the share. Oh, I can't wait to see it, man. That was gonna look sick. I mean, everyone's been showing all of them. What do you call? We've seen Fluff, we've seen Lone Syndicates. I want to redo mine too, but I can't wait to see yours, Red. I'm curious. Fluff says, it's the Twitch. Interrogated throw system, or TITS. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah. I see. Sorry. Yeah, I seen someone say that the Twitch. There's like another type of program that allows you to do stuff like that. Like viewers can turn on lights, I think, or something like that. But neat. More pocket sound from Matism says, it would be a big dick energy to be a VTuber. Yeah. Yes. I think it's a big dick VTuber or big dick move in general, just to kind of be yourself with reckless abandon, as well. And I think VTubers can do that same thing. Undead says, I didn't see that clearly. Can you pick it up again? This bit? Whew, it's not that heavy. It's just the fact that I'm holding it. Just not that I'm holding it, sorry, that I'm having to hold it on this weird chair that makes me feel strange. But yes. Can you see it? If I bring it up like this, you can see it. Ooh. It's definitely this is the light one. The one that I have in there is I'm at a 57 right now. Weird enough, because when kettlebells go, actually not 57. Sorry, it's 54. Yeah, 54. No, I know you were kidding, but I didn't want to not take the challenge. The day is armed, by the way, so I'm kind of like, yeah, we can kind of get after it early. Fluff says it's also a big bank expenditure to be one too. Oh, Twitch interactive throw was really. Also, it's funny that it's tits. that's the abbreviation, but interesting. Wow, I wonder why the one that we seen. I don't think she was crazy popping off on Twitch, but maybe she does. Maybe she just has a lot of like close knit subscriber people. That makes sense. I hope we do another Boss Factory stream. That was so. Yeah, we probably will. I think the previous stream was doing well too. So yeah, probably will be. I don't know when it'll be. Tomorrow's our play together stream, and we did release a build, so probably we might get one person that's like, "Hey, drive it for me," and I'll be like, "Okay," but I don't know. We could do it then. That's a little bit too soon, I feel like. But we can't do it Tuesday, because Tuesday is our Eldritch Horror waifuing up people. Yeah. Fluff says, I'm about 50k XP away from unlocking Fade in Valorant. She's a Turkish bounty hunter that is edgy as hell, but also is the role I enjoy. Ooh, it's hard. It's gonna be a little bit. Is she gonna be annoying, or is she kind of like, it's cute? It's cute, but Fluff says, I was referring to being a VTuber. TITS isn't expensive. Oh, I see. Oh, being a VTuber is very. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Sorry, that adds up. After Fade, I'll be working on unlocking Sky, and then turning the passion into a different role again. Different role. Yeah, man, Valorant is a whole ass game. It makes sense why people like it though, because I feel like it is fast, but also like I feel like it could in some ways be kind of harmonious. Like you get into a flow of it, you know. Kind of like what do you call it? Counter Strike. Lone Singh, it says, I have been getting back into exercise after watching how heavy are the dumbbells you lift. That's awesome. I learned some good exercises I can do at home and tips. Nice, man. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. I want to watch that show and be like, yes. Speaking of anime, though, I want to talk to you guys about the show that I'm currently binging. Which, by the way, you guys who told me this yesterday, 100% right. I'm currently watching an anime called Banished from the Hero's Party. And it's like Banished from the Hero's Party, A Simple Life or something like that. But it is, well, first of all, very slow. Like, people were saying that at the beginning, were like, this is a very, very slow anime. I stopped watching it because of that. But I think that's kind of the point. I think it's trying to show you that, like, it's funny because it keeps going back and forth between like the hero party and how it's just falling apart without this guy who like was convinced to leave. Essentially, is the idea. There's like a classic hero party, and then one person is convinced to leave. Turns out that person who was perceived as weak is actually like the linchpin of like tacticians and like community structure, and also like finding the demon people, all these things. So he was like very important, but wasn't valued. And people depended on him too much, despite him not having any sort of like powers and shit. So anyways, it's a really cool, like, you get a constant sense when watching the film of an anime about being like, oh, okay, like, I'm getting addicted to seeing like how important our main character is to the team and how they're falling apart without him. But one thing that I haven't yet decided if it's like the best thing or the worst thing is there's a character in the show, which I think is a really interesting premise. And also the show has a really neat ideas where like when you're born, you are given like a trait. It could be something as simple as the fighter or brawler. And whatever your trait is, the only way you can evolve on that trait is by participating in the action itself. So if you're a brawler, your like personality slowly starts to get corroded and become like crazy aggressive. And it's very hard to like break that. But it also is like if you happen to be born with like the assassin proclivity or tag or skill, then you have all the assassin abilities and also are incentivized to kill people. Like it's kind of like you're pushed into darkness in a way, really hard. And it's kind of like a little bit dark in that sense. But I will say the one thing that makes the show really cool, and I really like it, but I'm wondering if they're gonna kind of like screw it up. But in the show, the hero is this girl who has like fucking hollow eyes. Like she's like the exact opposite of what you think is a hero in most shows, where she's like super large in life, happy. No, she very much seems like a person that's on the brink of being like a murderer, like always. And she's like just kind of, she's cold, and she's like, they make her so goddamn strong. Like, just to give you a point of reference, there's a point in one of the interactions she has where she literally punches someone and just obliterates their like chest. Just insane. And she's also like super cold. Again, like just both of those play so well with each other. So it's a cool like subvert expectations kind of show. It's interesting. It's definitely slow though. But I think the point is that it's trying to show like this guy who is like all about glory and like helping people and all these things was eventually like, you're not welcome here. And he's like, okay. And then he's actually just having like a very nice life. Like instead of it being like he's just getting shit on, or it's like it's awful. He's kind of like, everything's kind of going my way now that I'm not like working for these bastards, you know. Except all of them love him and he likes them a lot too, so it's not like bad will. But I'm kind of like stuck in this feeling of like you're getting both sides of the coin. So you're like, oh, the hero team really needs this guy. So you're kind of like, oh, I hope he needs to go back. But at the same time, you're kind of like, fuck these people, dude. You're having a great life. Like, fuck, yeah, they got it. Or maybe they don't. It's fine. Do you pursue your own happiness? Fuck these people. So it's kind of fun. But I can see people's point about it being kind of slow paced, but at the same time, I am also enjoying it quite a lot. Specifically the hero. I like the idea of like that subvert expectation idea. But yes. Fluff says, and honestly, if the new Saints Row had a character design like a VTuber, I'd be all the happier. Especially with the hair and the facial hair design has over the somewhat disappointing offering than as. Yeah, I hope that's by design though, Fluff. I hope that's because I think that you could do the same thing in the previous Saints Row games where you could like design your character ahead of time. And I remember having the same feeling there when I was making my character, where like I hated that we only had the clothing options that we did, which all looked kind of bad. I hated that bit, you know. So the fact that we, like in the full game, we had so much more was per the course, you know. So hopefully we'll have that again. And they keep saying like it's the most robust customization they've ever had, so I could see them like going above and beyond with the customization, you know. Red says, yeah, the new SRCC is lacking, and the overall character design compared to the previous games. Yeah, I don't know about that. Again, I do think it's just a lot of it's held within. And honestly, I think there's if you look at some of the things in the game, I think that what they did is they took a lot of the cosmetic things and they tied them to maybe some collectibles, maybe some side quests, because I think there was something where like you needed to go like do this weird quest where it was like or one of the events, one of the activities, and one of the activities gave you like a statue, like the classic saint statue with the girl with the two guns, the angel wings behind, the purple angel wings, and also the devil tail. And yeah, like so I could see that it's not just that. It's like, oh, there's a scar here, there's crazy eyes, there's a skin texture here, there's this crazy shirt, etc. You know, I could see all that being in the game. Honestly, I don't think that's a bad way to incentivize, as long as you're able to see it, as long as you're able to like, what am I gonna get for this quest? And then you can like look at the rewards and it's like, oh, I can get this cool looking shirt. Okay, I look kind of cool, I want that, why not, you know? Add it to my collection, etc. Fluff says, although those DJ masks look cool, so I'll probably rock one of those for a good while. Yeah. There's a ton of like, I do like the idea that you can have like suits almost, like you can just change your clothes based on like prefixes, which is wicked. Missing the opportunity with Agents of Mayhem to go that route. Oh, I see. That definitely achieved that being the most robust compared to the prior entries, most in the body sliders. And yes. Also, they like the different symmetry is crazy. I will say, yeah, some of it, maybe it's just that I was like, I didn't really like sit with the character creator like for a long time and like get after it. That could have been a part of it, but I do feel like the scars and stuff did feel like lacking. Like the fact that I can't move my scar around, it was a little annoying. And maybe you could, and I just didn't see it. I don't think that's the case. Maybe. I had two choices to have thick natural eyebrows, and neither were ideal, but I went with what works best. Yeah, that's a lot of it. That's also Saints Row though. That's always been like Saints Row's kind of bread and butter, which is you gotta like put on clothes. Oh, that one doesn't layer properly. Fuck it, I guess we'll do this instead. Okay, that kind of looks better. Okay, let's change this back again, and you kind of gotta go back and forward a bunch of times. Fluff says there's a cat and a jacket mask for sharing your boss. There's a cat and jackal mask for the share your boss, along with a Marshall rocket launcher for linking. Oh, weird. Okay, I better do that eventually. Hopefully before the game comes out. We have plenty of time, but yeah. Hair too, yes. Also found it odd how some hairs have physics and others do not. When I would make sense more for the ones without physics to have yeah, like the big poofy ones. Yeah, that like were static. Yeah. The hair one was weird, but again, all that to me, I think I could see there being like some sort of salon in like the back alley of like a hick town or something, you know. And you're like, "Hey, can you do it?" And yes, and she just takes care of you, you know. Fluff says, can only figure more polish will occur. The boss factory is this game. The prior games are likely older builds than what we have at Wilson says, I'm off. Sleep well, all. Thanks for the bye, Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's probably time that we also wind all the way down. So who should we go rate? Is Lucas streaming? I don't think we paid him back yet for doing that, for raiding me. Also, I needed to, my PC was gonna die in a fire. We do not have Luca anywhere, unfortunately. But yes, the man needs a name. Please. Lone Syndicate says, no, Grin, you didn't miss it. You just can't alter the scar at all. Yes, that sucks. That sucks to me. That's some bullshit. You should be able to place that shit somewhere on your face. Okay? What if they... I'd be annoyed if that was the case. If they're like, you want a scar near your nose? You have to do this challenge. Stop it. Just give me this fucking scar, my guy. What are we doing? Jesus Christ. Oh, you have to do this one collectible around... They're not going to tell you where that collectible is either? It's just like a fucking far the hell away. You have to go and find a guide about what all the cool armor looks like, find where it is, go get it, and then it's just a nightmare of looking through a bunch of articles. Fluff says, linking the screenshot I took of the Boss Factory rewards for sharing and linking to your team. Thank you, thank you. Red says, yes. Yeah, I wanted to use Scar, but opted not to because I could not alter the placement or color. Yeah, man, 100% agree. Also, it's weird because some things they allow you to adjust. Like, what was it? It was like one of those. Oh, that was what it was like. The face paint. Like the face paint, you could choose the opacity. Like you could choose how predominant the like scar or whatever it was. Except since it was face paint, so I don't know why they wouldn't add that there as well. Maybe it's because it literally like is a 3D model thing, so it like take a chunk out of your face, legit. The cat. We're gonna call. We might raid them. Fluff. I'm curious if the tattoos and scars will be movable on the full release. Hope so. I don't know if they would be, because I feel like that's something that they should have very well have had in the base game. You know, positioning and stuff like that. That should be there. So I don't know. Like the back tattoo would be so nice to move rather than just being dead. Yeah, dead center. Yeah. Also just having like, yeah. Just exactly that. Just like having certain places, because there's some of them that like if you stack them on top of each other, maybe would look less like weird. You know, I wish there was less of like the most generic tattoos you'd ever seen in there. You know, like there's like a weird tribal tattoo basically, or like a dragon, but it's like kind of like done with like in just thick black lines essentially, with no detail or something. But then there was the one that like looked like you had like fucking teeth jetting out of your arm, which I was like, that's kind of neat. That like just looks like a really well done tattoo, you know. Like over one of the shoulders, yeah. Fluff says, well, I figure it'd keep it within its region, but still allow adjustment within. Yeah, to me, I would just like it to like. We've had games that do that, where like you can position a scar wherever you kind of want. I just wonder. I feel like it'll be interesting to see, but that might be their tack. That might be their idea of like, okay, we could pace ourselves out and like make it so that, oh, you want this specific scar on your face, you have to go to this specific location and do this specific thing, and then you'll get it. But if that's not clear about how to go about getting that item, then it's going to be. I don't think it's going to work. But if that's the carrot on the stick of like, oh, if customization is the true end game, and then these customizations are not just like given to you all at once, but instead like, hey, you need to conquer this region, you need to buy it from this specific store, you need to do that. I wouldn't exactly have a problem with that, because at least there's a way to go about it, you know? Red says, could probably be done with a mod. One of the mods for Elden Ring has a custom tattoo that also made glow with massive. Oh yeah, like a glowing thing. Yeah, glowing tattoo. Lone Secret says, yeah, I wanted to put a neck tattoo, but the only neck tattoo was a vampire bite, and I'm like, why? Yeah, no shit. It's like, what? This is a bad palette. Okay, a bad palette to pick from. Fluff says, I remember the Boss Factory demo was intentionally limited, not counting DLC cosmetics. Yeah? So hopefully the full game will have that. But I don't remember being able to move like things around in that way. That's why like usually it was just like you have another type of an option rather than an access point to move something around. You know, I think that's a little bit. I'd bet against it, I guess, is what I'm saying. I would love to see it though. I'm in the same boat as you. I would love to be able to move around and stuff like that. Yeah, I heard the tattoos were super lame. Definitely seems like the ink options were an oversight compared to the rest. I was about to say, yeah, like to me the hairstyles were actually pretty like varied enough to where like it gave me hope for the base game. Like I remember that was my one problem in all of the Saints Row games. Outside of there was one hairstyle that kind of I made work in Saints Row 4, but Saints Row 3 and all those games had such terrible hairstyle options. Like I just wanted a normal hairstyle. I didn't want my person to have like some sort of crazy like fucking like you spent the whole day doing this essentially and trying to make like this perfect lip happen. Too much. Too much for your boy. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a video coming out, unfortunately, over at Share Your Grin, which is a fucking Goliath video. It is actually not really. No, it's actually a little bit shorter. It's like 34 minutes, which is still long, but it's us. It's me talking about God of High School ad nauseum. It's such a fun show, and I want to talk to you guys about it. I usually like to push those not on the same day in which we just spent a lot of time talking on our set, but you know, if you're a masochist and want more punishment, the video is going to come out after the stream. But in the meantime, let's just go see this fantastic person that Fluff is vouching for, which I don't know if we've read it before. Let me see. I'll be able to tell when I post the name here. Oh, my blind ass can't see shit. Let me see. Oh yeah, no, I think we've rated her before. Yes, or one of them. There's like a bunch of people in there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to go exercise and then eat and then wind down. No, I probably will study more my book. Anyways, bullshittery aside, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Consider checking out the YouTube video. And thank you kindly for your time. And goodbye. Also, it's going to be on the Share Your Grin channel. Just to let you know. And bye. Also, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Side thing.